Welcome back, guys, to a review of the Endgame Gear XM1 Dark Frost. This is a special review for me because this is my main wired mouse for competitive play. A lot of you do know that I was a former professional Counter-Strike 1.6 player back in the day. So for me, I have used a lot of mice throughout my career in competitive, high-level competitive play. And for me, I think this might be one of the best mice that I have ever used, going back to my days playing professional CS 1.6 and all the mice that I've used since then. I think that the shape alone is going to check off a lot of boxes for all of you that are looking for a medium to large sized mouse. The grip on the mouse is just absolutely insane. But first, before we get into the review, let's check out what you get out of the box. Really not much as far as what actually comes in the box, and really that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you get all the essentials. The mouse actually does come packed quite well with the cable in this little piece of styrofoam here. You just get a little explanation as to where to download the firmware and or software if you so choose. And it actually does come with a pair of extra skates. These are actually the default skates that were on the mouse. I decided to go with the larger skates that actually came extra in the box, and I have to say that both pairs of skates are actually very, very good. They do advertise the mouse as being around 70 grams on the box, and for me, the mouse with a little bit of cable weighs in at around 71 grams. Special guest appearance of Sleeping Dog. But no, I did want to show you the shell of the mouse. It is this cool translucent material on the XM1 Dark Frost. It is much grippier and much better with fingerprints than both the XM1 and XM1 RGB. This mouse is so grippy and dry in the hand for anybody in a humid climate or anybody with issues with sweating hands, anything like that. I don't have that issue, but I do have the issue of living in a humid environment, and this mouse is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this thing does not go anywhere. If I was to dip my hand into some chalk and grip a bar or a pole, this is literally what this feels like. This is probably the best, grippiest default material on a mouse without having to have a third party paint a mouse. This feels phenomenal. You can see a little bit with the translucent material. It is a little hard to see any of the internals of the mouse, but honestly, if you kind of tilt it and you play around with it, you can actually kind of see some of the internals, the clicks and things like that. It is pretty cool. Pretty cool. First time I've seen that on a mouse, and it's nice to see that people are coming out with new interesting things like that. The length of the mouse is about 122 millimeters long. And as far as the width in the middle of the mouse, it is about 63.3 millimeters, where it kind of tapers in near the side buttons and the right side of the mouse. And the rear flare comes in at around 66 millimeters. Near the clicks, it comes in at about 61.8 millimeters wide. So as far as why I think this mouse is going to tick so many boxes for a lot of you with medium-sized hands or larger hands that are able to utilize a hybrid grip like fingertip or relaxed claw. The way this mouse tapers in on the near the side buttons on the left side of the mouse and on the right side of the mouse, it really and the low profile of the mouse at this hump right here, it really offers a phenomenal grip in the hand that really makes it feel very tight, very close, and really good for micro movements. And I want to show you guys kind of what I mean when I say that the mouse is good for these little micro movements in games like Counter-Strike and Valorant, where you're very slowly kind of tracking and then you are making these fine micro adjustments and controlling your spray or flicking a little bit with the wrist. This grip and the taper on the sides really plays well for that sort of gameplay. Overall, the cable is vastly improved over the XM1 and XM1 RGB. It's a lot thinner. I prefer it. It still has the little mold that comes off the shell of the mouse that keeps the cable up, keeps it off your mouse pad. It's a fantastic mouse for side-to-side tracking, and even when you have to add in the vertical movements with your hand or wrist, fantastic mouse for track.
One of the things that I find most important with gaming mice nowadays is having something that is comfortable for verticality while tracking or flicking. There's a lot of mice and a lot of shapes that particularly don't work for me that I've realized over time, and one of those mice is the G Pro Wireless. It's not that I hate the G Pro Wireless, but there's something about the hump in the middle of the mouse that I actually can consciously feel and become an issue in various competitive shooters while tracking, because that hump hits the bottom of my palm in a weird way. This mouse, I don't have any issues with side-to-side tracking or up and down quick flicking or tracking type movements. I'm able to claw the mouse, I'm able to fingertip this mouse comfortably, and just the texture of the mouse plus the very good PTFE feed out of the box and the new 3370 sensor, I can say that certainly one of the ways I would describe the mouse, and I've said it a lot in the review, is the mouse is just crispy. It's just a rocket. I think that if the shape works for you, the XM1R is really probably my number one wired mouse, and it's certainly probably going to remain in my top 5 by the end of 2021.
As far as the clicks go, the mouse does have Kale 8.0s. Mouse 1 and Mouse 2, I have really no side-to-side play as far as when you're holding down the left or right click. The clicks sound phenomenal. Kale 8.0s. Crispy, not too hard. I think it's a step forward over Kale 4.0s that were in the XM1 RGB that were so hard it almost felt like you were pushing down on a brick wall. These are much nicer but still have that nice pop. The mouse wheel, has a great feeling scroll to it. The middle mouse is not too hard to push in. And as far as my side clicks, mouse 4 is a little more hollow than my mouse 5. So there is a difference between my two clicks. They both feel overall fantastic. As far as post travel, I do have a little bit of post travel, but never noticed it being an issue in games, just with how tactile those side clicks actually are. Post travel, not an issue. Here are the clicks from a different viewing angle. Really no post travel on mouse 1 or mouse 2, and no pre-travel. Here are the clicks compared to the Model O wireless. Just much crispier and much poppier with those Kale 8.0s in the XM1R. This is just a brief size comparison of the mice that I currently have on my desk that I'm playing around with. The Model O wireless I can definitely recommend for those with bigger hands that are looking for a longer mouse. The XM1R comes in a little bit shorter than the Model O Wireless, so if you're looking for something a little bit smaller, certainly the XM1 could be a good fit for you. The Xenix Titan GX Wireless is similar to the Zowie S2, which in length is somewhat similar to the XM1R. So if you're looking for something to swap from the S2 that doesn't have a as pronounced hump, the XM1 could be good for you. And of course, the smallest mouse of the bunch is the HTEN S. If you're looking to specifically fingertip a mouse or use a mouse with an aggressive claw grip, certainly the HTEN Small might be for you. If you're looking for a small mouse or you have a small hand, certainly give the HTEN Small a try. But if you're looking for something with more of a hand feel, something that you might be able to utilize with a hybrid grip, I'd go for the XM1R. So overall, guys, this really is just a fantastic mouse that, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, is going to check a lot of boxes for a lot of you in different areas. It's got a top sensor, it's got fantastic PTFE feet out of the box, it's got a fantastic texture, and the grip is absolutely phenomenal, and it's unique. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. It's got top tier clicks, nothing wrong with the parts that are used in this mouse. If you haven't tried it, give it a try.